in this video I'm going to talk about when some kind of attitude that you had about things changes. And it doesn't just like change overnight, although it could, if you found out something bad about something. But overall, it's just an opinion, an attitude, the way you think about things changes, and really makes your life different. How different? Who knows? But it's going to make it different. Okay. And I did a video this morning, but it was just too dark. So anyway, it was about this. It was that years ago I wanted to do volunteer work, okay? And I had tried one place, and the people working there got my phone number and called. It was something like New Year's Eve night, whatever year it was, and was joking and said, "You want to work as a volunteer? Ha 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 ha!" Just went on and on. And basically, they said that I was too educated for it. Like what kind of volunteer I would be. I was just checking into it, Well, years later, I tried again at a different place and did some volunteer work. A woman says, "Why don't you go and get certified yourself? Do this job." It was for a life enrichment director at senior living communities, And so I did, and that I was doing the volunteer work. Then that led to internships. Okay, and to make it brief, it was just a lot of time, energy, and all that, and expense for me. And I really wasn't getting much out of it, to tell you the truth. I had tried to switch careers, and no, that was just a bad career for me. And anyway, the volunteer work was, at some point during all this, I found out, I think it was during the classes I was taking, the first or the second, I had to take 2 classes and all this kind of 2 different times of the year, and all this stuff. It went on for like 16 weeks each. But anyway, they said that for a corporation, volunteers, they're real high on volunteers, were worth $21 an hour. I was like, wow. One volunteer worth $21 an hour. Of course, volunteers don't get paid, so it was like, that's how much it's worth to the corporation. And once I finished the classes, started looking for a job in it, and I was hearing minimum wage, and this is a director job. Some of them were paying more, but nothing was anywhere near $21. And part of your job was to organize and schedule all the volunteers, to train them, plus do your own job. They would have one person doing a job of many. And eventually, my whole attitude changed about volunteering. Plus, they'd want people to pay, these life enrichment directors to pay for their own supplies. You got to have a lot of supplies. And you were basically pretty much volunteering. With what little they paid you, you had enough to buy clothes and gas to get back and forth to work, and then they wanted you to pay for your own supplies and all that. So it was a lot of supplies you needed too. Okay, well, I used to also donate, and I even did. This was all before I started YouTube. But once I started YouTube, I started making comments, and I think I even recently made a video about, donating to these, because I do feel for the people who live in these, senior living communities and stuff. But I even bought something recently. I was going to donate, and my memory came back. It's like, yeah, this is what I'm feeling about it now. I didn't feel before about it. I mean, I did at some point, just, a few years ago, that it's helping these corporations to hoard money. They're not having to hire people, the amount of people they need, the trained, people who are trained, pay for their own supplies, pay for everything that they need. That's all it was doing. Being a volunteer was $21 an hour to them, free. They weren't paying volunteers. In fact, one place, actually said that if something, like if a resident gets hurt or anything negative happened, bad happened, costly happened, whatever, when that volunteer was there, the volunteer had to pay for it. The volunteer was responsible for any, financial, financial whatever came up. And it was like, really? Seriously? Okay, so overall my attitude changed on that. But then it made me start thinking recently, because, it was just last week I bought that, about how many things I do and maybe other people do that they don't realize, what they're helping out truly. And the cost, because other people could have those jobs if they didn't have volunteers, they might actually have to pay somebody, to do those jobs. And, just my realization was, how much have I done in my life, really, like being a homemaker. I did a video on that, about when you're a homemaker, you don't get paid. That's an old argument, very old argument. You don't get paid, it doesn't, what goes towards your, your retirement, your Social Security, all that kind of thing. Nothing, at least not here. My thoughts went on and on from there, but it's, it made me think about, like, the whole people pleaser kind of thing. I don't know. It really made me stop and think more. I've thought about it before, like I said, a few years ago, just on the senior living community, volunteer stuff like that. But before then, I thought about things like this and how many of us will do things, and when we don't watch it, it can become like a martyr for a cause. Like there are extremes on anything. We know that, some good, some bad kind of thing. Those are the extremes, and there's all the points in between. But this would be like, being altruistic too much. That would be the extreme of good. Doing good, which you're really doing bad for yourself. Okay, that was a little annoying. I don't know if you can hear it, but it was music playing really loud. Anyway, so I was thinking about all those, and how I still to this day can see myself doing those, and I've got to get in between, not be the worst of the worst, which is the narcissism, and not be the altruism. Somewhere in between, healthy, Anyway, that's enough for this video for now, this topic. If you want to subscribe to this channel, click the circle. If you want to watch another video on this channel, click one of the rectangles. Like, subscribe, comment, and share if you'd like. And I'll talk to you on another video. Bye.